It's an age-old question, and of course, the internet got it wrong.
Welcome to the ManCave.
Hey everyone. So, going through the internet, various social medias, I came across this video.
And say that's impossible for men and women to be friends without them, with one of them catching them feelings in your worldview. It's wrong.
So you got male friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get your phone out?
My friend's over there.
I want you to call one of your male friends right now, live vote.
LV, do you have a question that you would like her to ask this male friend when she calls?
Just talk casual, innit? Like, we've been friends for a while and that. Considering it's a long time friend you're calling, yes?
We've been friends for 9 years. Yo, Kat, how are ya?
I'm good, still. How are you?
I'm good, man. You chilling?
I'm chilling.
Say what?
How are you? What you saying?
I'm good, man. So what? You can talk for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, in the week, because obviously it's summer holiday and that, do you want to go on a date?
Do I want to go on a date?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of a date?
Like a date?
You wanna, eat food?
No, not eat food, like go on a date.
Go on a date?
Yeah.
Like a romantic?
Yeah, type beat.
Is it? Do you like me in a romantic way?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Is that a yes or a no?
It's a yes.
Okay, fine.
Told you! I 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 told you! And that's why I say to my girl, allow it! Man, them, they're gonna pull out their hood. Woo, 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 woo! Get up in the yard! Woo, 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 woo! What are you talking about? Don't get me in there! Don't let me run the show today!
To come here and
So this video tackles what men and women have been arguing about as long as there have been men and women. I mean, in college dorms, bars, playgrounds, wherever it is that, people of a certain age get together, this question of can men and women be friends always comes up. And, this particular video is a clear example of what I was talking about in a previous video about critical thinking. And this is a very clear example of the inability to think critically. This guy postulates that women and men can't be friends. He creates this apparently on-the-spot test for this. He finds one example that proves his point, and he claims victory wildly. And first of all, so much stuff on the internet is just for clicks and likes. So I don't even look at this as being a true test of this question, this theory about men and women being friends. I mean, this is clearly fake. They get these guys together, and there's a reason why they do the things they do. They want people to see a certain answer already. People go into this when you click on the thing that says "Can men and women be friends?" You're already got an idea in mind, and this guy just reinforced it. The next thing is that look at this sample set. I mean, in this particular case, they're all people about the same age. They're all Black. I think they're either from London or somewhere thereabouts. I think there's one woman, I think she's Asian or something, but they're all like a very small demographic. So that's not even a good sample size. And yeah, these are technical terms and, the ideas about samples and doing a good statistical analysis. And I know most people don't think about that. People just say, well, it's what I see, so therefore it's true. And for most people, that is a real thing, that men and women can't be friends. And for the most part, it's, first of all, look who's talking about it. There's guys in their 20s and 30s and, women in their 20s and 30s. And they say this because in your 20s and 30s, you're not looking to build a lot of friends. I mean, for me personally, and for a lot of people, you go to school, you go to high school, in some cases you go to college, and you're in a social situation where you have a lot of people around you to gather friends, and you don't really have to look for friends or anything. You have them in your classmates. If you live in a dorm, in your dorm mates. College and school environments kind of force you to be in this pseudo social situation, even if you don't live on campus. once you start going into the workforce, you really stop looking for friends. And I have most of the people who I call my friends over my career in the Air Force and different places have been people I had to work with. You know, the Air Force is another artificial environment where we kind of force you to be friends and bring your families together and all that kind of stuff. Once you leave that environment, you know, you kind of leave those friends behind. I have often tried to reach back and call friends and that I've served with in other bases, but they've moved on. They've done other things. For guys in particular, we don't spend a whole lot of energy looking for friends. If we're in a situation, we're at work, we're at school, whatever, and whoever's around us, they're our friends probably in that situation. Most people, myself included, have friends from other places that are our friends. For whatever reason, we keep that going on for years and years. There's also the situation where, you know, you won't see a guy for years and you suddenly see him. It's like, oh man, it's so good to see you. We got to get back together. You never get back together. That's just the way it goes. So for guys, we don't spend a lot of energy, first of all, looking for friends. And we definitely don't spend that energy when dealing with women to be their friends. And that's just a truth. You're in your 20s and 30s, you're single, and I'll get to the other things later. But when you're single, your energy is focused on finding a mate and not necessarily a lifelong mate or life partner or anything like that. You know, sometimes it's romantic, sometimes it's just physical. But whatever it is, guys just don't spend a lot of time looking for women to be their friends. It's just the truth. And you know, so that will give you this idea like, well, we can't be friends because I'm always on the hunt for the next conquest, for lack of a better word. That's just the way guys operate. So when you're in that mindset, that space, that idea of interacting with women, of course we can't be friends because, you know, I'm not spending that time and energy on making friends. I'm spending that time and energy, you know, if I'm dealing with women for a sexual partner. But after saying all that and looking at the sample set and how these guys present themselves, the short answer is yes, men and women can be friends. I've had and have a lot of female friends. I kind of look at the world as like, for me and for men in general, there are two types of women. Women who under no circumstances you will have sex with, and women who you want to have sex with in whatever way it happens. And a lot of these guys in these videos and these talks and you know who responded to this video are so sure that men and women can't be friends because they're looking at the whole population of the world of the female world as women they want to have sex with. And of course, you know, you don't want to have sex with relatives. And there's people you just not sexually attracted to, although there's some guys who want to have sex with them too. I've met those guys. It's like, why? It's like, oh, I gotta get sex. It's like, why? But anyway, there will come a point in some men's lives, for some men they won't. But for me personally, and when you say men and women can't be friends, all you have is all you gotta have is one example to prove otherwise. And I'm that. 'Cause like I said, I've had a lot of female friends. And there are women who I just don't want to have sex with. And it's not because they're unattractive or anything. It's just that we've our relationship developed to a point where we're past that, you know, and it would be weird to try to go to that. There's also been women who I have been attracted to, and for whatever reason or another, you never had a physical relationship or do anything beyond being friends. And now it's at a point like I can never go back to that. And you know, that's just as valid. But you know, it's usually young men who got this hard and fast rule of men and women can't be friends. I mean, you know, you'll get to a point where you'll know somebody and they're married or something, and you know, they're off limits and you don't even think about it. And you know, saying that men and women can't be friends is almost like a knee-jerk reaction. And it's the kind of thing that you have to say because people expect you to say that. Um, you know, usually when somebody says all or always or never, and when things are absolute, I'll use one example to prove that it's not true. And like I said, in my case, I've had plenty of female friends, and some of them I never even imagined having anything else with them. And I don't know if that's a matter of maturity. I don't know if that's a matter of you get to a point in your life where for me, it's usually been at work. I met a lot of women like this in the service who you just have a kind of relationship with them that's just I don't want to say it's not natural, but it's not platonic. It's business, it's work. So you're working side by side with a woman and you have to work with them all the time. You know, you're working on projects, you're working on, you know, something happens, you know, you see them every day and you get to a point where you're like, that's all they are to you, just another person. They might as well be another guy. And I just think people who say that, like, oh, men and women can't be friends, they haven't gotten to that point yet. What do you guys think? I mean, like I said, when somebody says all or never. All you gotta have is one example, and the theory is out the window. And me, I've had plenty of female friends. I know there are guys out there have plenty of female friends. It's not something that I seek out, or I gotta do, or I just, I don't have a sex drive or anything. There's plenty of women out there who that's all I don't ever want to be their friends. I want to have a romantic or sexual relationship with them, but not all women. What do you guys think? Have you been in that situation? Have you found yourself in a relationship with a woman and it just wasn't sexual, or you just, you're cool with just being a friend?